Good evening, everyone. My name is Vaishnavi Bharadwaj, and I welcome you all to today's session on the art of building an amazing resume with Mr. Priyank Ahuja. Mr. Priyank is a proud alumnus of Indian School of Business and NUS Business School, Singapore. With over 14 years of progressive experience in management consulting, product management, program management, marketing strategy, pre sales, operations, and digital transformation. He has a superior record of motivating people right from the grassroots level and taking subordinates into confidence for implementing new and innovative ideas. Not only that, but he is also a certified corporate trainer, public speaker, coach, and the esteemed mentor of our 180DC BITS Goa branch. So, without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to you,
So good evening,
sir.
everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me for this amazing session on how to build a resume, especially for the consulting and product roles. Those who are looking for consulting and product roles and especially aspire for creating an amazing resume so that they can definitely get the shortlist in their dream companies, just like McKinsey, BCG, Bain, Deloitte, EY, KPMG, and PwC, and even for the product companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, uh, Netflix, as well as other FANG companies. So definitely this session will help you how to create a such kind of a great resume so that you will not only get the shortlist, but also you will be able to land into the interview rounds. So let's start our session now. So my name is Priyank Ahuja. I have around 14 years of work experience, and right now I'm working with Accenture as a product manager. Prior to that, I was working in the consulting role. Now, let me share the agenda what we are going to cover in this 1 hour 15 minutes of the session. So in this session, we will talk about the difference between the CV and the resume, because this is the most confusing words we are using with the recruiters. Especially sometimes they ask you to share CV, sometimes they ask you the resume. What is the fundamental difference between both of them? And when you have to use CV and when you have to use resume. How does your resume stand out as an individual? In fact, how you can showcase your best talent? How many type of resumes are there in the market? What should be the ideal structure of your resume? And in fact, what are the practical tips to make it impressive and awesome? And I will share the touch point from a recruiter perspective, what recruiter wants to evaluate in your resume, and the basic tips to improve your resume. Along with, I will also share one sample consulting and the product resume so that you can understand what are the difference between both the categories and what keywords exactly you need to showcase and how you can frame your lines, and followed by the Q&A. So this will be the overall agenda for the next 1 hour 15 minutes of the session. So let's start now. So what is CV and what is resume? Let's start with the CV first. The CV stands for the curriculum vitae. Especially, it's a Latin word which is which is having meaning of course of life. Especially, this CV is used only in the academics. Academic means if you are going for masters, or suppose PhD, or suppose if you apply for lectureship or becoming a faculty, whether it is a full-time faculty or is a visiting faculty, or suppose if you want to go for any kind of research work, then only you have to use CV. So CV basically represents your overall curriculum vitae, which you have acquired in due course of time. And it is not having any kind of page limit. It can have 2 pages, it can have 10 pages, it can have 50 pages also, depending upon the number of accomplishment, publications, honors, research experience, as well as references you have shared in your document. So it's only used for the study related purposes only. Whereas when you are applying for a job, whether it is a government job or a public sector job or private sector job, you always have to use resume. Now, what resume contains? Resume generally consists of only your skill sets and accomplishments and your competencies, especially required to perform a job in a right manner. Just like suppose if you have the skill set of teamwork and collaboration or leadership qualities, that is actually sufficient for you to showcase your talent in the desired role. And this resume always stand out from the crowd, especially when you are competing with other applicants in a job. And this resume should not be seen. It should be tailored according to the position. So CV is used for academic purpose and resume is used for job related purposes. Coming to the length, CV should be it should not be having one page. It can be multiple pages, whereas resume should be strictly one page only. This doesn't matter whether you have fresher or whether you have 10 years of work experience, it should be one page only. Coming to the, you can say, detail in CV, can we have single format? Same CV you can use for multiple academic roles, whereas resume cannot be used for multiple roles. It should be tailored as per the desired role. Suppose if you're applying for consulting, the CV should be different. If you're applying for product role, again, the resume should be different. And most important, company to company resume is also different. Same CV, if it is getting shortlisted in McKinsey, doesn't guarantee that it should be again shortlisted with a BCG or Bain. In fact, it may be possible that if your resume is shortlisted in BCG and Bain, may be rejected in Accenture also. So it doesn't guarantee that if it is targeted for Big 3, then definitely you can get easily shortlisted in Big 4. That is completely wrong. Each resume should be tailored as per the desired role. And in this resume section, we will talk about only resume. We will not talk about any kind of discussion on the CV, because we are talking about how to crack the consulting and the product role. So let's understand our focus toward the resume only. So how does a resume stand out as an individual? Your resumes talk about your personal brand. Means how you are selling yourself during the interview and exactly what you are selling, your skill set, your competencies, and your past accomplishment, which is helpful for you to perform your job better. It talk about yourself. It talk about your own personal brand. It's an important tool which is being used in your job search. In fact, whenever you are referring yourself for any job, the first question the recruiter asks is, can you please text your resume? Can you email your resume? Can you share your profile? That means they definitely want to have a glance about your accomplishment. It's a first impression in front of the recruiter. And once you get shortlisted, it opens the door for other opportunities in terms of the interview round. And once you get selected, it will give success in your life. Now coming to the types of resume. In the market, there are multiple categories of a resume, but broadly speaking, there are two categories involved. One is textual, second one is visual. Let's understand both of them. Textual means it should be in the plain text file format. Means it should not have any kind of graphics, colors, visuals, icons, diagrams, photograph, and infographics. It doesn't contain anything. In fact, doesn't contain multiple colors also. Maximum 2 colors are allowed. That can be blue or black. Apart from that, no further color should be allowed. In some cases, you can also use gray color also, but it is only applicable for consulting, but not for other roles. So these 2 colors are mostly used, but apart from this textual content, no other things are allowed. And these are 100% ATS compliant. So what is ATS? It is called as application tracking system. These days, HRs are very smart. They are not doing manual reading, and they generally run a software on your resume file, which automatically pick up the right keywords, which is relevant for the job. And if you are getting 70% match, I repeat, minimum 70% match, then your CV is qualified for the role. See, 100% match is not possible at all. But if your CV matches 70% of the desired keyword, then definitely you will get the shortlisted for the interview round. And it should be concise, easy to read. It should not be, you can say, bulky file. Maximum size, you can say up to the 2 MB is allowed. And the beauty of this textual resume is you can easily modify or delete entries in the future. And whenever you apply for any kind of online jobs, always use textual resume. Don't use any other kind of resume. Coming to the another type category, that is visual resume. As the name suggests, visual means you are getting visual feeling out of the resume, means which contains not only text, but graphics, icons, colors, textures, pattern, infographics, photographs, and logos and icons as well. And this will talk about your personality out of the box. If you are 100% sure that your resume should be read by your manual eyes, or suppose a recruiter read the resume in person, then always use visual resume because it grabs the attention easily. But when you apply for online, you should not use this because it is non-ATS compliant. Means they can pick up 30 to 40% of the keywords, but remaining keywords will not be picked up due to these graphics. Although it is easy to read, but it is not online friendly. So don't use this resume unless if you are applying for, you can say, face-to-face discussion. But certain roles generally demand visual resume, just like creative artist role, hospitality role, or aviation industry role, where photographs and your icons are mandatory. In that case, you can use visual resume. But for consulting and product role, it is strictly not required. I repeat, for consulting and product role, never ever try your visual resume. Always go for textual resume only. Now let's understand the structure. Just like everything is having certain structure about your interview. It start with the first question, like tell me about yourself, ending with do you have any question from us. The pattern is there for every interview. Similarly, resume should also have the same structure. It contains multiple parameters, like it start with about your personal detail. Now coming to personal detail, it only three things are mandatory: name, email ID, contact number. That's it. No other personal details are allowed. It's not required at all. If you showcase your highly personal detail, then you are responsible for misuse of your data. In fact, people are very crazy. They are actually sharing their date of birth, their gender, their address, their family detail, just like father name, mother name, spouse name, each and every detail, even blood group, they are also sharing. It's not required at all. It's not required at all, because because you never know who is going to use your resume and how many hands it will be touched by your resume. If you share highly personal detail, someone can easily hack your bank account. Now then you will be responsible for that, and photograph should not be required at all. These things are required at a later point of time. If you get the offer letter, then HR will demand the document, then you can share, but at the initial level it's not required. Regarding LinkedIn profile, it's optional. It's not mandatory. But mention LinkedIn profile only if your profile is 100% updated. If any portion is not updated or it creating difference between your resume and the LinkedIn profile, then don't mention that. But it is optional. It is not mandatory. Coming to the next component, that is the summary and objective. Summary and objective, majority of the students are using it, especially freshers, but it is not required. It is not mandatory. It's completely optional. I repeat, it's not mandatory. It's completely optional. It is generally mandatory only for experienced professional. Suppose someone who has worked in 5 to 6 companies or multiple roles the person has worked on, then at a glance, in 3 to 4 lines, you can share your objectives. But for fresher, it is not mandatory. Coming to core objectives. In core competencies, you have to mention about your skill sets, something you are already mastered, just like team collaboration, leadership, and you can say soft skills, just like effective communication. That will be your core competencies. Or business development, product research, product marketing, that will be your applicable for product management. Then coming to your education, academic achievement, it should be mentioned in reverse chronological order. Especially your BTech or MBA will start first, means first post-graduation, then graduation, then 12th marks, and then 10th marks. But mention marks only if it is greater than 80%. If you are not sure about, if you have scored less than 80%, don't share the marks. Then work experience, if you have prior work experience, if applicable, then mention that. Otherwise, internship experience you should mention in reverse chronological order. Then mention your position of responsibility. Just like suppose if you are the president of your consulting club or marketing club or finance and asset society, or suppose you are handling commerce society, that will be your POR. But in that POR, you have to mention what you are doing. Then extracurricular activities, which is apart from your academics. Just like you are competing with case competitions with the other teams, or suppose if you are participating with NGOs or community or society related work, or any you can say regional competitions, that mention in the extracurricular activities. And last, professional certification, it is optional. It is optional. It is not required. If you have accomplished the relevant certification which is applicable for your role, then mention that. Otherwise, it's not required. So that is the basic structure of your resume. Now, how you can make your resume? These are the practical tips which you need to follow. You have to use STAR approach. That stands for situation, task, action, and result. This star approach is applicable for Indian firms, but if you apply for European firms, they actually prefer CARE approach, which stands for context, action, and result. Means you need to quantify with the impact. I will talk about this approach in the next slide. Then let me talk about other point first. So whatever the point you are mentioning, you need to quantify in numbers of percentages. Just like suppose right now you are organizing this session, this resume session. So how you can mention? You can mention multiple sessions like just like that. As a president of this consulting club, I have organized placement ready sessions for the audience, which showcase an engagement of 95% among the target audience, or I have bring up diverse alums or industry professional for my students, or you can name them if it is belonging to the tier 1 institute, then you can mention that as well. Or you can also mention that I have also successfully converted 155 registration to suppose 90 student who have attended this session, which shows that conversion rate of 65%. So that kind of quantification is required to showcase your point. Now, what this point will tell about you? This point will showcase your leadership qualities. As a leader, what was your contribution? Did you handle just clerical role, or do you just showcase the impact? So if you showcase your impact in the number of percentages, it definitely talk about your personality, that due to your efforts, it's a huge number of students are actually attending this session. That quantification is required. And whenever you are writing the point, you should always start with the action on power verb, just like facilitated, coordinated, consulted, orchestrated, drove, led. These kind of action on power verbs you have to use up. And use the desired keywords, whatever it is mentioned in the JD. Now, JD means job description. Whenever you are applying for a job, then companies actually share the JD. In JD, you have 3 different parameters. One is about the company. Second, about the role and roles responsibilities. And third, their expectations. I repeat, about the company, about the roles and responsibilities, and job expectations. Now, what keywords you have to filter up? You have to pick up the keywords which is mentioned in the expectations. Don't pick up the keywords which is mentioned in the roles and responsibilities. The relevant keyword should be picked up from expectations. And the multiple times the keyword is, you can say, repeating again and again, means that particular skill set is mandatory. And that skill set you need to showcase. Just like for consulting, they always ask for the leadership person, high effective communication, and team player. Then these keywords should be reflected in your resume, along with the examples, along with the accomplishments. If suppose if they are looking for, you can say, product manager, then in that keyword you have to showcase like product marketing or go-to-market strategy or branding or marketing strategy. These kind of keywords you have to pick up. If you work for any kind of community work, don't mention just like filler verb, just like I'm a member of TMP cell or NGO club or committee, unless you mention the impact. Like as a training and placement head, what you did, how many network opportunities you converted into the placement opportunities, how many alum sessions or interactive session on industry interaction session you have organized, what was the engagement level, what was the satisfaction level. These impact you need to showcase and get it reviewed with multiple people. But if you talk about my opinion, don't get it reviewed more than 5 people. But these 5 people should be different. Some people are in a habit, they get it reviewed by 100 people, 100 or 150 people. Or every time they just ping to the, you can say, connect with the LinkedIn, the professional, and say that please review my resume. Because every person perspective is different. But get it reviewed with maximum 5 people, but these 5 people should be from different categories. Just like it can be your close friend, it can be a family friend whom you can trust, it can be industry professional of the same company or the same industry, it can be your mentor, or it can be your faculty member also who has past experience in the corporate. These 5 people should be different, and make sure it should be 1 page only. Now let me talk about STAR approach. So STAR means situation, task, action, and result. Means you need to showcase what was the situation, and with context to that situation, what task or actions you have performed, and what was the action you have taken, And upon implementation of those actions, what was the outcome or result achieved? That's how you need to showcase. Let me give one example. Suppose if you read this lengthy paragraph on the left side, which is not star approach, you can get the meaning, but nobody will have the time to go through these detail about your previous job. But if you quantify in the form of a star approach, you came to know that you were hired for a particular role. The situation was company was facing operating losses and they are not able to hit their quarterly roles. Now, when you got hired, what was the task assigned to you? You have to devise a new marketing strategy to increase the product revenue. Now, based upon this task, what was the action you have taken? So you have find out the root cause with the help of interviewing all the stakeholders. And after interviewing all the stakeholders, you came to know about the suggestions and recommendations. And once you implemented, the result was in next less than 6 months, your revenue was increased by 25% or nearly equal to 3 million US dollar. So that quantification need to mention means why you did a particular task, for whom you did a particular task, what was the outcome and what was the accomplishment. These things should be clearly mentioned in bullet point. That's how you can use the star approach. So these are the practical tips. I will showcase the demo when I share the sample resume so that you can have a clarity. Now let me share the recruiter perspective. As I have taken around 600 plus interviews in my life, now these touch points I am sharing from my own experience or from other recruiters also. What exactly recruiter wants to grab the attention in your resume? First, you need to understand what is the resume read time. Some people say that definitely they need to spend around 5 to 10 minutes in the resume. Some people say that no, it should be less than 1 minute. Some people say that at least 10 minutes they have to spend. But the ideal time is just 30 to 45 seconds. 30 to 45 seconds, they will decide your fate, whether you will be qualified for the interview round or not. And in that 30 to 45 round time, they generally scan the keywords. So make sure you should highlight those keywords which can be grab their attention in 30 to 45 seconds. And it should be customized as per the GD, which I told you. Don't mention technical jargon. Suppose if you apply for consulting role, and if you mention that SQL, Java, C, C++, or you can say other languages or DevOps, which has no concern with respect to the consulting profile, then they will treat as a technical jargon. If suppose you apply for marketing role, you mention these C, C++, C hash kind of a keyword, or VLSI chip designing, what the marketer will do in this? They will treat as a technical jargon. Don't mention that. It should not be congested. It should be clean and easy to read. Don't make it overcrowded in just one page, and make sure it should be showcase your leadership potential, just like the POR or the roles you are handling with respect to the society. Career progression is not applicable for you. It is applicable for experienced professional because they have the past work experience. But make sure your resume should have unique selling proposition. What is unique, which differentiate you from rest 95% of the candidate, means that qualifies you in the top 5%. It can be anything, just like you are academic topper, branch topper, or president, or suppose you are having holding a scholarship, or you are you can say the winner of the case competition, or you can say the university topper. It can be anything that differentiate you from rest 5% of the crowd. Or if you have the international exposure of the projects, then mention that as the USP. So these pointers will be applicable to grab the attention of a recruiter in just 30 to 45 seconds. Now let me share the CV spikes. One by one, I am coming to this point. So CV spike, how you can mention? You can mention at the top. Top means when you start looking at the resume. Let me give the science behind the CV spike with a simple example. Suppose when you are in the market, now you want to search for a particular shop in the market. Suppose Vaishnavi wants to search for a particular shop in the market. When she arrives in the market, she is not able to locate the desired shop because in the market you have 100 plus shops. Now suppose Vaishnavi has to search the shop, but she has to take the help of a you can say particular, you can say the people who are roaming here and there, who actually belongs to that locality. Now suppose Vaishnavi saw three strangers who are available on the, you can say, the in the market area, and she approach to ask where is this shop. Now suppose there are three strangers are there. On what basis the Vaishnavi will decide to whom she will approach first? Three are sitting, or three are standing in front of her. How she will decide? I need to speak with that particular person only. All are strangers. Vaishnavi met these three people first of all, first in her time. Now how she will decide? It's a human psychology. So when you are meeting a stranger, then where is your vision strike? Obviously, your vision will always strike at the face of the person. If your face is looking appropriate, then the next time is the person scan their body language. If their body language is appropriate, then the final check with the person eye scan is their visual appearance, how the person is looking like right now. But these three check performed by the human eyes in just a fraction of seconds. Hardly 2 seconds you will take to decide whether I have to talk to a particular person or not, especially for the stranger. Now, think in a different manner. When you are reading a CV, person is seen. CV, if it is coming on your table from a recruiter perspective, you are stranger to the recruiter. Why a recruiter wants to spend so much time? When you are deciding face to face to talk to a person or not in just 2 seconds, same logic will be applied, because person is same, because human psychology is same. So how they will scan? They will scan from the top to bottom. Earlier they were scanning minimum 5 feet person, but now they're scanning just A4 size of the paper. But scanning is involved from top to bottom only. But here, how you pick up the keywords, it's upon you. And these keywords will act as a CV spike. So make sure the CV spike should come at the top, especially after your name, contact number, and email ID. Just after your personal detail, mention those keywords in this one line. Just like suppose if you are a PPO holder or a finance secretary or president or diverse achievement gold medalist, or suppose rank, this one applicable for you. In one line, you can highlight like this. After CV spike, the next portion is coming as academics. Now, academics always come in the reverse chronological order. Suppose if you are doing MBA, then MBA should come. If suppose you are a BTech person, then BTech should come at the top. Then your 12th and then 10th. And then mention from where you did the graduation or post-graduation. And mention the marks. If it is mandatory, then mention. If it is optional, then please don't mention if it is less than 80%. Because less than 80%, it shows that you are not skilled in the academics. But if suppose you want to showcase your qualities within your academics, mention in the percentages or in the bracket. Just like suppose if your percentage is less, but still you are sure that you are in top 20 percentile, then highlight like this. If suppose in the BTech, you are having less CGPA, but you are sure that I am the rank 9 out of the 400 sample size of the student, then mention like this. So it will showcase your talent. It will showcase you are superior with respect to the batch size. That's how you need to showcase your academics. After academics, the next part is your work experience. Now don't chase the number, especially the bullet point. How many bullet points you have to use? Please understand, don't share more than 5 bullet points. If suppose you have the data of 25 or 30 points, recruiter will not read all the points. Hardly they will scan maximum 5 points only. And each bullet point should not take more than 2 sentences. So total number of sentences for per bucket is 5 into 2, 10 lines. I repeat, 5 bullet points should be there, and each bullet point should not consume more than 2 lines, because that's the maximum attention span of every recruiter. Now, if you suppose see this particular sample, this student has written around 10 bullet points. And these points are not started by action or power verbs. And if you go through these details, it is just like roles and responsibilities. Just like suppose Prakash has taken breakfast at 8 o'clock. Lunch he has taken suppose 1 o'clock, and dinner suppose he is taking at 9 o'clock. No need to mention these kind of roles and responsibility. You have to showcase your accomplishment. Means in a whole day, what was your achievement? You have to showcase like this. Just like you see this, multiple lines are also similar. Just like suppose, analyze the data set of 3 testing tools along with end-to-end flow of the drilling pressure data. No concrete information is coming up. Means what was the objective, why you did that, and what was the outcome, and what action you have taken. Nothing else. Read another line. Received a PPO of a technical resourcing team from SO Chennai. Very good. You received the PPO. But why? What was your achievement? Why someone awarded PPO? What contribution you made? You didn't mention anything. Because PPO nobody will get. If you got the PPO, at least highlight why you got the PPO. So how you can quantify this? You can restructure the points like this. Like start with the action and power verbs, benchmark, develop, facilitated, received a PPO, and quantify the details. Just like suppose this. Received a PPO. Why? From streamlining data ingestion by developing a QC tool, then showcasing it resulted in increase in process efficiency by 8%. Now, if you increase this process efficiency by 8%, it's a big achievement. You deserve that PPO. You are highlighting the same. That's how you have to showcase the point. And whatever the points you are mentioning, it should be bold so that it immediately grabs the attention of the recruiter. So don't chase for the number of points. You can easily quantify in maximum 5 bullet points only. And everything you have to write in this order. And CV building is an art. CV building is an art. Because suppose if you are belonging to the age of 23 years, suppose I am assuming you are 22 to 23 years of age in the final year. Now, if you are having 22 to 23 years of your age, then showcasing your entire experience, whatever you did in last 22 to 23 years in just one page is not a job. It consumes a lot of time. Ideally, you should spend minimum 100 to 150 hours on your resume. You have to recall those important points and then write down on the paper and keep refining again and again. It's very time consuming activity, but you have to do that. If you don't do it, then please forget about getting shortlist from your dream company. It's not possible. You have to do that. You have to be investing a lot of time in your resume. Let me showcase POR. This is very important because you are joining societies and doing multiple things. How you can showcase? Let's is one sample. Organize 4-day event. Where? Which event? Literary competition. When? 2016. Comprising of 35 event with partaking of 200 plus student. Now your leadership potential is coming up here. You are showcasing your batch size. You are showcasing number of events. You are showcasing what is the length of the event and when it had happened. Each and everything is crafted in just one line only. If this student can write in just one line, you can also write it. Similarly, you can see elected as a finance secretary, student body, Best B School Noida by 480 students from the batch of 21. Means you got selected from a batch size of 450 students. It's a remarkable achievement. It showcases you are having a leadership quality because people have elected you for the president. That's how you need to showcase. Suppose if you are the consulting club president, you can showcase that. Suppose if your consulting club having 45 members, including consultants, senior consultant or coordinators, then mention that who has elected you and what you accomplish as part of the president. Same is applicable for other societies also. That's how you have to quantify it. Coming to co-curricular, especially when you are doing apart from academics within the institute, what you are doing, suppose if you are awarded gold medal, mention that. You have to mention the rank and mention the sample size also. Out of how many students you got the first rank. Where? Mechanical engineering branch. For academic year 15 to 16, who has awarded? IIT Kanpur. That's how you have to showcase your experience like this, especially for your case competitions. If suppose if you are awarded merit-based scholarship, mention the amount. The more numbers you mention, the more credible person you are. Because your numbers speak your credibility. But don't fake your numbers. If you fake your numbers, then recruiter will catch easily. If you mention that I got a scholarship of suppose 10 lakh, especially from your suppose BITS Goa, everybody will become suspicious. Who has awarded 10 lakhs scholarship? Suppose your BTech fees is suppose hardly 12 lakhs, 10 lakhs, how you got it? So don't fake everything on your resume. If you want to fake, then make sure it should be realistic or reasonable. 5 to 10% is okay, but if you make a bluff of more than 25%, nobody will believe, because they will directly ask 2 or 3 questions which you are not able to answer it. And if you are not able to answer, your game is over and it will backfire you. So if you don't know the number, it's okay, but make sure realistic or reasonable figure you can mention it. Then extracurricular, your hobbies, just like suppose voted as the best table topic speaker by audience of 150 plus in Toastmaster Club, selected among top 15 by NGO basis of this, winner 1 out of 4 out of 440 plus ABC Leadership Award organized by Best B School Alumni of the BBS student. That's how you can quantify the details like this for co-curricular and extracurricular achievement. Okay. So if you are showcasing event, mention the event name, why, when it was happened, what was the nature, whether it's a debating society or oratory or sports society, you have to mention like this. So nutshell, I can say that it should be one page, chronicle point should be there. It should create impact, highlight your numbers, and you have to prioritize which point is important for you. Let me share you sample one. One resume is on the screen. This resume is called as poor category of resume. This is poor or worst category of resume. Why? Because this candidate didn't use the bullet point. This person has used the tick mark. Tick mark never used in any template. Always use bullet point only. And make sure bullet point should be less than 10, less than 5. And each bullet point should be used star approach. It should be used star approach, like situation, task, action, and result. If you read this line, develop and drive new business in France and India, what type of business you are talking about? What was your accomplishment? If suppose you drive the business, what you achieved? Nothing is mentioned. Monthly reporting to the board. What type of reporting? What KPIs and matrices you are measuring? What was the impact? What major decision you have taken? Nothing is mentioned. Why it create value? Similarly, let's talk about another sample. This sample is better than the previous one, but still not the best. Or I can say it's an average category of resume. Now, if you see this, it's overcrowded, especially from the left side, it's overcrowded. Now, if you don't give space between the bullet point and the first point, nobody will be able to read it. Who has time to go through in depth to check the spacing? And it is not symmetrical. In right side, you have multiple space, but the left side, you don't have space. And majority of the points are not bulleted one. That's why it is average category of resume. Let me show you best category. The last sample. This is the best category of resume. You have to frame the points like this. Don't chase for the numbers. Mention impactful points in the form of the bullet one. Now, there is a science behind it. Just like when you are meeting a stranger, when you are scanning their body language, their visual appearance, and their face, the scanning is happening from top to bottom. And similarly, when you are scanning the resume, the first point should be most important point. High impact should be there in the first point, followed by second impact and third impact. If suppose your first point is weak, the recruiter will not read the second point, irrespective how much impact you mention. If your first point is impactful, they will definitely read second or third point. Otherwise, they will directly jump to the second bucket, then third bucket like this. So make sure the first bullet point should be impactful in terms of numbers, in terms of percentages, in terms of the role you have handled. Don't change the order. The first should be highly impactful for every bucket, whether it is a academic, internship, full-time work experience, co-curricular, extracurricular, or your academics. It should be impactful. Let me show you the sample resume first now, so that you can understand how to create the resume. Then I will take up your Q&A part. So I am opening the sample resume for you. First, I will talk about the consulting one. Wait a minute. Let me show you in the full screen only. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So I'm sharing the best resume for you. This one is the person who has actually did recently the bachelor's, and he mentioned about the resume, email ID, contact number. This was optional. He has mentioned, but it is not required at all. Coming to the profile summary, this is your, you can say, the USP or CV spike or resume spike, you can say. Just like 2 quality internship in consulting and IB. IB means internship in investment banking. President of consulting club, consistent academics, 10 GPA, 96.6 percentile, and 7.7 plus in the last sem. Business analytics and finance, BI, Excel, and SQL. These that person has mentioned about the tool, because when you are applying in the consulting role, especially without MBA, the recruiter actually expect that you should master, especially the data analytics tool, just like SQL, Power BI, Tableau, R, Python, Excel. These are the mandatory which is expected from every individual. So if you are mastered the tool, then mention it. This person has won 30 plus business case competition and quizzes, which is organized by the leading B schools and IITs. So that's how he projected their USP. Then coming to academic background, means the GPA will come, then your 12th and 10th will come up. Then see another academic achievement. So this person was awarded Scholars Gown Award, 1 out of 10. So means first rank out of the 10 was shortlisted from 300 plus student. Why? Distinguished academic performance only. But how it has been achieved? A1 grade in all the subject for 3 continuous years. That's how you need to showcase. Similarly, the knowledge bank he has created during the schooling, he mentioned about this. He got the award for best academic performer from the batch size of 300 plus student. Similarly, this person was the gold medalist. Why? Because he secured the city rank 1 and state rank 2 from the batch size of 4,000 plus student for 2 consecutive years. That's how you can showcase your academic achievement. Coming to internship. So he mentioned about, you can say, internship part, like remote consulting or face-to-face consulting. He mentioned just 3 bullet point and mentioned each and everything in you can say, with respect to accomplishment, like perform self-side market assessment for the INR 55 crore startup in the Indian home appliances industry. So nature of industry is mentioned, amount is mentioned, and what was the assessment he carried out, he also mentioned. Each and every line he mentioned in just 1 space only. Similarly, for the live projects or corporate projects, he mentioned about the recommendation part, angel investment, how much amount he has acquired. Then coming to the position of responsibility. So president, head financial consulting society, strategy associate, head boy and secretary. Now he quantified why he made accomplishment by leading that role. Just like in president, he led 30 plus members, then separated by organized case competition workshops by mentor from McKinsey, BCG, Bain, DE Shaw, and EY Parthenon. Suppose you have different mentor from different verticals, you can mention that. No need to mention their name, but you can mention from what variety of people you bring up. Or suppose you bring up the alums of leading schools, just like IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, then mention their alums from reputed institutions. That's how you need to showcase. It highlights your leadership qualities. It highlights your networking abilities. Means you have the solid network. That's why these people have come up to deliver the session for your student. That's how you need to showcase your accomplishment. Leading 15 plus placement coordinator to successfully tap 20 plus companies and 330 plus students registered for the placement. Means you actually led a team of 15 placement coordinators, and as a placement head, what you did, you bring up new 20 companies for 300 plus batch of students who are actually sitting for the placement, or they're qualified to sit in the placement. They showcase, again, your networking ability. Similarly, for technical and certifications, if suppose you did certification which is relevant for consulting, just like for Excel, Power BI, Tableau, R, Python, these certification you did, highlight the same. If suppose if you apply for software engineer role or software developer role, mention their relevant certification. But where to did the certification? Let me tell you. Try to highlight the certifications which you achieved from Udemy, because this is not considered as a reputed certification. The reason is they don't have the exam. If your exit barrier is strong and the exams are tough, automatically the people or recruiters start valuing it. So Coursera is the authentic one. If you have completed the Google Analytics or Google Digital Marketing Certificate, that also add value. Or suppose cloud certification from Microsoft, Google, as well as AWS, that also add value. So mention credible sources for your certification, but make sure the certification should be aligned with the role. Suppose if you did the certification in marketing and you apply for consulting, it is of no use. Don't mention that. It should be aligned toward the role. Coming to extracurricular, suppose if you won business case competition, mention that. What was the name of the event? How many sample of the student participated? And what was your rank? That's how you need to showcase it. Similarly for quizzes, similarly for this one. And last is for your voluntary activities, what you did as a volunteer. So that was the sample for consulting resume. Now let me answer one thing for one queries. I am sure you must be there in your mind is that what consulting firms are actually looking into the resume. Consulting firms actually want to hire toppers. They generally hire topper. Topper means in academic, you either have the accomplishment or you are the top 5%, or you have strong POR, or you should have strong extracurricular record, or suppose you have other academic skill set. So whatever you can showcase as part of an accomplishment, highlight with the impact. That will automatically increase your chances. This is applicable for MBB, McKinsey, BCG. They generally hire topper. But for the big fours, they generally don't care about the marks. I'm literally telling you, they don't care about the marks. If suppose you are average in academic, that's okay. But make sure your POR, extracurricular and hobbies and societal or community work should be strong. Then only you will get shortlisted. Otherwise, you will never get shortlisted. And don't assume that if you get shortlisted in PwC, then Deloitte or EY or KPMG, you also get shortlisted. That is not the case, because every company is having expertise in different domain. Just like Deloitte and EY are actually looking for financial roles. Accenture is looking for tech consulting role, as well as you can say management consulting roles, whereas PwC actually looking for data consulting or digital strategy related skills. So different companies is having their different requirement. The kind of and the nature of the projects they are handling, they are actually picking up the right skill. Similarly, if you are applying for social impact consulting firm, just like Dalberg actually looking for NGO, community, and social impact space. If you did projects in that space, then your CV will be shortlisted. Otherwise, it will not be shortlisted. Suppose if you worked with Dasra, which is the major philanthropical organization, or suppose if you worked with NGO and created the knowledge repository, then you have a huge chance to get shortlisted in Dalberg. But you have zero chance to get shortlisted in McKinsey, because McKinsey is having their different parameters. So make sure you should go through the JD, understand what they expect from the candidate, and pick up the right keywords. If you don't have the right keywords, then I suggest you don't apply to that company, because it will not be of any use. Because these consultants are very smart, they can easily pick up those keywords. Because they are actually reviewing the resume, 100 or 200 of resume every day. So if your chances are high, then only you should apply. Otherwise, not required. That was about consulting one. Let me showcase about the product one, and then I will talk about take care about your Q&A. So this CV I'm talking about for the product management role. This is the format of ISB, Indian School of Business. So we generally don't use the table format, but let me focus about the parameters here. So again, without tabular format, you can see that your education will come at the top. You mention about suppose GRE, GMAT, which is applicable. If you have the higher score, you can mention. In case of product management, your academic quizzes, as well as your case competition matters. Suppose if you participate in PM case study, that is which is organized by PM School or Product Falls, and if you suppose become the second runner up or first runner up or the winner, this add a lot of value because actually you are solving the problem in the case competition. And what type of work or what type of problems you have solved, highlight in detail, because these are the real case studies which you have solved during the interview. If suppose your case study involved about the primary research or secondary research or providing the best user experience or solving the design issues, then highlight as part of your work. Then coming to the graduation, then suppose this person has did the, you can say BTech from DTU, the well-known NCR college. So the person was gold medalist and he mentioned each and everything like same thing, which I already explained in the before, national winner, internship and all, certification and all. Coming to the work experience. Now in this work experience, what type of keyword you need to mention? In product management, you have to create the buckets, just like your achievements, product development, process improvement, or it can be your stakeholder management. These three are transferable skills. If you have prior work experience, then it is applicable. But if you have the internship, then mention the internship in these buckets only. Because these keywords you can pick up from the JD. And what they actually seek in your resume, first thing is you should have the skill set of product thinking. How you think like a product manager. In product thinking, the relevant keywords are your market research, go-to-market strategy, metrics and KPIs, or even up to a certain extent, process improvement or user experience. These keywords you need to showcase. Let me tell you how you can do that. Suppose Vaishnavi is the software developer. And suppose she is applying for, you can say, software developer role in the Uber. Now, how she can showcase her experience? If she is applying for a software developer role in Uber, she can talk about that she has developed the front end and the back end of the application with the Java, with the JavaScript, and with the link with the SQL database or MySQL database. And she has, you can say, run the query and she is getting the output in just 5 milliseconds. That kind of skill set she can highlight as a software developer role. But suppose if she is applying for associate product manager role in Uber, then she will not write this kind of stuff. How she can write it? She will write that as a product manager, I designed this app with this kind of a UX or UI, which has improved the acquisition rate of the customer from 5% to 10% of the customer request in 1 quarter. Or it has improved the rider or the driver experience by 15% in 1 quarter. Means through product, what was the outcome? So you have to relate with respect to the product only. Then it becomes a product specific resume. So in software developer role, you have to mention that you can say the keywords for the programming side, whereas in the product phase, you have to showcase about your process improvement, customer experience, or market specific roles. That's how you need to showcase. Means with the help of product, what is happening? Are you cutting down the manual effort? Are you improving the experience? Are you improving the attention? Are you improving the engagement rate? Suppose Vaishnavi has created the website for the e-commerce website. Suppose now what was the motive for e-commerce website? You have to bring more and more customer who will purchase any product from their platform. If she is not able to convert one customer out of 1,000, it means she has prepared worse product. That's how you have to correlate and quantify your impact. So approach is different. In consulting, they actually want to see your team collaboration or your leadership or strong POR. But here, your product thinking and solving the customer problem or your product mindset is important. That's why these buckets are required. Then rest is same. If suppose if you have the entrepreneurship experience, then it will showcase your impact, especially for the startup. Suppose most of the students who are associated with BITS Goa, they are associated with multiple startup projects, just like Seekify or Seeko is there. This will add a lot of value because if the startup is at the initial stage and you are improving the product by providing the suggestions, this will add a lot of value in your product experience. Right? Next is your extracurricular. Extracurricular actually doesn't matter. during the product management. But only thing matter is your academics, your internships, as well as your live projects. That's how you can showcase your impact onto the product management.
Thanks a lot for that amazing speech, sir. And thank you so much for that highly informative session, sir. Really thankful for you taking out time on the weekend and sharing these important aspects of building our resume with us. I would also like to thank our audience for being here with us today. I'm sure we all learned invaluable lessons from this workshop. We'll see you at the next one. Till then, stay safe and have a nice day.